Hi everybody, welcome back to Sprocketman Designs. As you can see, all I've got on my bench at the moment is a couple of tools. And the problem I had in the last video where I've over-engineered the stand has been unfortunately sidetracked because the wind spinner and its stand live outside, and in the last couple of rains we've had a lot of day. Last couple of days we've had a lot of rain. I'm breaking these teeth in for another idiot. So at the moment the wood's a little bit too damp to go out with an electric drill to create enough room around the nut head for me to dismantle it. As soon as I get two or three straight dry days, I will be ripping that to bits and bringing the big part in so I can do my test fit. When I reach that point, that's the point I need to get my workbench back. Anyway, once I've got that, I'll be mocking the whole thing up for you to point at and giggle or wonder what on earth it is I think I'm doing. In the meantime, I'd like to welcome to the workshop a new friend. There you go. This little one, because of my mild obsession with all things dragon-like, started out, this is a toilet roll holder, believe it or not. I have got the spindle knocking about somewhere, but we've just had some of the house redecorated, and in doing that the boss has said she doesn't want this in the house anymore. So, but it's a dragon and I can't throw it away, so here we are. So if you come up with any inspired ideas of how I can modify it to turn it into a useful feature out here in the workshop, I would love to hear that from you. You never know, somebody might come up with exactly the right lunatic idea that I can run with. But we shall wait and see. So, where am I going to put little one? Right, let's pop this one off to one side for now. Ah, there's a good place. Actually, if I put it up there, it can lurk in a corner and pretend to be menacing. Dragons aren't menacing. Well, not if you feed them or give them gold, anyway. Thank you, Tolkien, for that one. So, yeah, that's where I am at this exact moment. While I think about it, would like to thank the band Banzer, Anthrax and Municipal Waste for an absolutely awesome gig in Manchester. It only took, I don't know, 3-4 days for everything to recover properly, because I had promised that I wouldn't go in the mosh pit, and of course I did. The fact that I no longer have long hair didn't stop me headbanging, so it did take a while for my neck to recover and my voice to come back. Yeah, I could barely speak when I got home. Brilliant night, absolutely awesome. And as it's been 25 years since the last time I saw Anthrax on stage, it's incredible to realise that they still have the same drive and energy, and they just know how to have fun. Anyway, enough of that. Not sure what I'm going to tinker about with yet, but while I have a long ponder about all things I should be doing or could be doing, I think what I might do is save you guys the agony of listening to me mumble on about, oh, could I do that with? Yeah. So, if anything occurs to me, I will be back momentarily. See you soon. Okay, so after much messing about and faffing, it suddenly occurred to me that I hadn't looked recently to see if I'd got any set screws that I could use to join my chainring disc to the mount that will go onto the motor. I've got an M6 bolt here because it's an M6 shaft on the motor. Found 4 screws which are a snug fit to say the least. So what I'm now going to do is bob this through and see if it will sit evenly. Right, so if I set it so it's quite high up, let's see if this will... Oh, look at that. Okay, we're another step closer to at least the drive side of the spinner working. Next stage will be to, as I say, dismantle the old wind spinner to get the pivot in here. I still haven't decided whether I'm going to create a whole new one yet. We'll set fire to that bridge eventually, I guess. But the 4 little set screws that I found actually used to be part of an G4 Mac, which died a death and I somehow inherited, and I stripped it for a huge pile of bits. Over the years I've used them for all sorts of weird and wonderful jobs. One of these days I'll carry out my threat to hook up all the little fans together. What I'm going to do with that I have no idea, but hey, you know. But I class that as a result. I now know it will sit. It's not tilting off at a weird angle anywhere. As long as it rotates like that, we can all be happy. I wonder if... Yeah, I definitely think this is going to work. I'm just going to attempt to tighten the bolt up in my vise. See if I can just move this. There we go. Right, this should spin down onto the thread. Would you look at that? Bearing in mind it's not clamped up, so there is a element of movement available there. But once I lock up the grub screw underneath, it'll be ideal. Excellent. Now I've got to take it off. The only sad part about making this is nobody's ever actually going to see that part. Brilliant. Really happy with that. So I now know that that's going to work. I'm glad I decided to go rummaging in a box of ancient computer parts. You never know what you're going to find. Mind you, my next challenge will be to find some nuts small enough to go on it to lock it all together. Interesting prospect. That I can remember, they didn't have any. Those set screws went into threaded holes inside the computer, which would be why there's no nuts for them. I'll go to my favourite supplier of all things useful. You never know, they might have something. Failing that, I'll put a drop of glue into each hole and glue it together. But I'll save that as a last resort, because you always need a last resort. Right, thanks ever so much for your attention, guys. I hope you have a wonderful time. As I said earlier, if you can think of any other slightly manic projects, feel free to let me know. I'm always open to suggestions. In the meantime, have a good time. Like and comment if you will. Subscribe if you get the urge. Look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.